welcome to Castine Bookworms, featuring Luca Montanaro, Mason Reed, Aurora Simmons, Reese Agnew, and Regan Skillings. We're a bunch of kids who like books and want to talk about them. Today we're going to be talking about genres and why they are good, and how they are good in this epic genre wars episode of Castine Bookworms. As we all know, fantasy is the best genre. It's obvious if you just read Burning Magic and Inkworld. Both of these books have great characters, intriguing plots, and so many ways to imagine them. And just look at what books the other genres have to offer. In realistic fiction, you don't even have to think. Everything's there for you. There's not even any magic.
Well, realistic fiction, you can really relate to the characters and compare your problems, like in Sisters by Raina Telgemeier. I can relate to that because I have two younger siblings that drive me crazy at some times.
Seriously, who wants to read a book that reminds you of all of the problems you're going through in real life? Like if you lose a best friend, and reading a realistic fiction book, you'll just get depressed about how sad everything is.
But knowing what has happened to others can benefit you because you know you're not alone. You know that there are real people on this planet that may have some similarities to you. And the older you get, the more you have to realize that some parts in your life aren't always going to end with a perfect happy ending like in fairy tales and mysteries, where the good guys get the villains, or the wizard learns the best spell and then uses it to take out the witch.
Obviously, mystery is the best because you can think about the mystery that the author is slowly revealing throughout the story and try to build up a set of clues along with the characters. You can also try to solve the mystery before the characters do.
But mystery's all the same. Every book is the main people are sent on a quest for a special family heirloom. They find clues all over the world, and then their evil cousin twice removed is like, I'll stop you with guns and stuff. And then there's a big fight and the bad guy escapes. Goes into a secret base like, you're never getting me. Then the bad guy dies because an anonymous hero poisons the bad guy's drink. And then the main people find the heirloom and win and live happily ever after. Sci-fi is good because it puts your thoughts toward the future, like dystopian cities with lasers and lights and stuff like that. In the book A Wrinkle in Time, it makes you think about the time-space continuum, which is really intriguing and makes you think about how science is growing by the nanosecond. And that's why sci-fi is cool.
That's the whole point of mystery. You have one topic to work with, solving mysteries. Mystery books are so much easier to understand than any sci-fi books. Sci-fi books are all over the place. In one book they're fighting big alien dogs. In the next book they're fighting other planets with telekinetic donkeys. Sci-fi just doesn't make sense if you compare it to mystery.
Well, it makes you think what science could do in the future and stuff. Mystery's all the same thing, hunting for clues because your grandma was president of the moon.
But none of that stuff could actually happen to you. They both are so hard to follow and completely silly. But with realistic fiction, you get exactly what's going on and what you can prepare for. Plus, it actually makes sense.
Well, realistic fiction can just happen down the street, so why not just grab a lawn chair and watch your neighbors argue over custody of their child? Fantasy doesn't happen in your room, so fantasy is actually so much cooler because it's immersive and doesn't happen anywhere.
But what if you were the child? What if you knew that somewhere out there you can relate to your problems? Because those sad things happen a lot in real life. So that's why I like reading about characters who have those similar problems. And just saying, not all realistic fiction stories are super sad and depressing.
But why do you want to read about real-life problems so much? Do you really want to be depressed your whole life? Is your idea of a good time reading crying because you think that life's gonna suck because you've read way too many realistic fiction books?
Well, fantasy is all old-timey and boring, like, Sir, you have been knighted before thy dragon's castle, and you must passeth the dragon testeth, and becometh the importunest person. And then the main character goes riding dragons and stuff and meets cool people and then becomes king. It's all the same! In sci-fi, every author's view of the future is different and cool. Like how some people think of time travel and others think of lasers and stuff.
Fantasy is boring? Sci-fi, it's just the authors having people scream at Scotty to beat them up. And it just has no ties to anything that's going to happen in the next million years. It's so confusing, there's no good plots or characters. Fantasy is plots that you can follow, and you can forget that you're in the real world while you're reading it. A good example of fantasy is in the Shadow Magic, Dream Magic, Burning Magic series. They have long action scenes, cool characters, and plots and magic that amazes you. But in sci-fi, there's just the same characters talking about teleportation 99 times.
Well, fantasy schmantasy, it's all dragons and goblins and random caves and dog and area because of the evil Dark Lord named Marspookiel and stuff. Like in Among the Hidden, there's a unique idea of only 2 children being born per household, but the main character, Luke, is an illegal 3rd child, a shadow child. It's unique, cool, and totally awesome. On that note, it's up to you. What genre do you like best? Science fiction, mystery, realistic fiction, or fantasy? You be the judge. Now check out a book at your local library, such as Among the Hidden, Book Scavengers, Sisters, or Inkworld. Now get cozy and read your breakout. Tune back in 3 weeks, hopefully. Have a good break.